has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. Reports are surfacing already about the Ducks' transformation to the Long Island Bulldogs. As they start their campaign. When is the first game for Ray Lewis and company on a 1-month tear to win all 10 games and another chip?
Yeah, tomorrow night. First game for the Bulldogs. Tomorrow night, they play Wednesdays and Saturdays. And then this year, though, unlike the spring, we've now reached the second and third grade division, which means we're keeping score. There's winners and losers. The kids got to pitch. We're taking a step up here in the fall to get us ready. So
no participation trophies.
No more participation trophies.
No
There's playoffs. There's wins and losses. The kids got to learn we're out there to win, and that's it. We're not out there to have a good time. We're out there to win. And it all starts tomorrow night for the Bulldogs.
Awesome.
All right, here's the rest of the slate for this weekend with the NFL, of course. We told you about Thursday and Friday night. We're going to talk about all these games all week long. I want to give you the numbers at the beginning of the week, as I always like to do. Here we go. Patriots are in Cincinnati, where they will face the Bengals to start the season off. Minus 9.5 now for Cincinnati. The Bills open with Arizona at home. That's at 6.5 right now. The Giants and the Vikings. Giants getting 1.5 at home, Scotty, against Sam Darnold. And the Caleb Williams era starts. The Bears are 3.5-point favorites against Tennessee.
Well, they better win and cover with the amount of hype and bullshit we've been listening to and watching on their stupid Hard Knock shows and all the attention they've grabbed and all the awards they're going to win. I've heard Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, Super Bowl. That's all I've heard about the Chicago Bears. If they go out and lay an egg at Soldier Field in the opener, that'll be all you need to know about this season for the Bears. They have to win and cover, not just win. They have to cover for all of the bettors. I think the Giants can win their opener at home because they suck that bad. And I am not buying the Minnesota Vikings to Sam Darnold. I'm buying the suck Giants to win their opener and get everybody all teased up and drunk. The Bills will win in Buffalo, shuffle off to, like you read about, count on it. And the Bengals have to win, even though I'm hearing from my sources deep within the Pentagon that Joe Burrow will only be throwing to T. Higgins all day long because they have no other talent.
That is the word.
Is he going to play?
I heard that as well. I heard that too. But here's the good thing for them this week. They're playing what is absolutely going to be the worst team in the NFL this year. The Patriots will be, no doubt about it, the worst team in the National Football League. And, man, what a shame that is. That is how the mighty have fallen up in Foxborough.
How will I ever make it through the fall and winter this year with the Patriots sucking? I mean, honestly, what will I do with myself?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm going to love every second of it. The Steelers will open their season in Atlanta against the Falcons. They're getting 3.5 points. Jacksonville is in Miami against the Dolphins. Dolphins, actually, I just saw this, Scotty, move to 3.5 up to this second. Houston is in Indy. That is at 2.5. And I'll give you this tip now. The Joey Prawns Week 1 special. The Carolina Panthers into New Orleans against the Saints. Your boy Joey Prawns is backing Dave Canales and the Panthers to win outright on Bourbon Street.
I would rather back Cannoli than Canales. And I'll take Stroud and the Texans. I'll take Tua, your boy Tua and company at Hard Rock. I'm going to take the Stellars on the road at Atlanta because the Falcons will never live down the Super Bowl. I don't care who their coach or quarterback is. And, yeah, I that Panther-Saints game, he can I love Joey Prawns like no other, but I wouldn't watch that game if you paid me, honestly. The Panthers and Saints, I'd rather be pregnant.
He's been talking about that one for months. What
can be worse than that game? I mean, we'll talk about that. I'd rather pick my teeth.
Before I give you the next set of games, Tampa is going to be home for Washington coming up on Sunday as well. But Todd Bowles, Scotty, I mean, it's only been a couple years since the Washington football team, now known as the Commanders, but won't always be known as the Commanders, changed their name. Todd Bowles still has not gotten the memo, though, on his desk.
I think if you find yourself just facing the rookie quarterback, the other 10 guys are going to kill you. So we're facing the Redskins. We're not facing Jaden Daniels. They got 10 other guys that we got to worry about as well. So we don't look at it as facing a rookie quarterback. We're trying to beat the Redskins.
Listen,
two in the jar. $2 in the jar for Todd.
Once again, I will go back to the well. They should have never changed their name, ever, no matter who it offended. Like, honestly, did Florida State change their name? The Seminoles? Did the Atlanta Braves change their name? Like, honestly, I think that Washington Redskins should be the Washington Redskins. They should have always been the Washington Redskins. You know what? They haven't won since they were.
Very true. Here is the late slate, the 4 o'clock East games on 4 o'clock, 4:25 East games coming up on Sunday. Vegas is in L.A. to start the Harbaugh era for the Chargers. That is at a 3 right now. Denver into Seattle against the Seahawks. Cowboys and Browns. Browns, Scotty, minus 2.5 favorites over the Cowboys. And that Washington game against Tampa, also at 4:25. The Bucs are 3.5 points against Jaden Daniels and the Commanders.
Look, I think Baker Mayfield and that Bucs team is better than anybody gives them credit for. They made the playoffs, and they were an interception away from beating the Lions. I mean, nobody wants to talk about how close they were to beating the Lions. Mayfield threw that pick, and that was all she wrote. I like Dallas in Cleveland, and I think Cleveland and Schwartz, best defense coordinator, at least in the league, as far as I'm concerned. That guy was meant to be a DC. I'm going to go Seattle at home. I think they're sneaky good. I like their new coach and their defense and Geno and their receivers. They are, untalked about. Like, nobody's saying a word about them, and like they suck or something, and they stink and have no team, no chance. I think that's insanity. I think Denver's the one that sucks. And I think Jim Harbaugh will win his first game in Lipstick City.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Cowboys. I'm going to bet against Deshaun Watson until he gives me a reason not to, Scotty, because he sucks. I'm just going to bet against him until he gives me a reason not to. Here's your primetime game. Sunday night, Rams are in Detroit. Rematch of that playoff game from last year, minus 3.5 for the Lions. And Monday night game is, of course, the Jets and the 49ers in San Francisco. I did see that move to 4.5, Scotty, since the Williams news this afternoon and the McCaffrey news.
Well, I think the Niners will win at home at Stonewashed Jeans, and my guess is the Lions will win. But look, I think the Rams are going to be way better than anybody thinks because they got a great quarterback. They got great receivers. If they're healthy, I think they give the Niners a run for their money in the West. And I think the Lions will be the team that everyone has bet on to win the Super Bowl. And they'll be the new Falcons. The team that choked will never live it down. Teams that choke never live it down. I don't care what you say. It happens every time. The team that chokes, and they had it all, it was right in their fingertips, and then they're going to go right back to the Super Bowl. No, they're not. And everyone's got them winning like 14 games, and they're going to win. Oh, the Lions are the greatest team ever.
You know what?
That's all I hear about. The Lions. They'll probably win their first game, but I like the Rams. I think they're going to be better than people think.
Skip ahead, guys. The biggest liabilities to win the Super Bowl. There it is. The Lions. The biggest liability to win the Super Bowl this year. Number 1, Chiefs, Jets, Ravens, and Eagles behind them. Everyone's on the Lions, Scotty, to do big things this year.
How about none of them win the Super Bowl? All 5.
Oh, God, would that be great? That would be outstanding. If we could get that, and none of those 5 winning the Super Bowl would be. And who else would love it? I said
the other day, Texas, Miami, Dallas, Green Bay. I'd kill for those Final 4. Give me something different than the same thing. If I go to New Orleans and talk about the Chiefs for a week, and a week before here, I'm going to need a shrink.
Mike Tomlin could have very easily put this to rest and say that, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to look at, hey, Russell Wilson led that clean drive. I think that separates him enough to give him the starting job. But I think you're right that the leash is going to be pretty short. And if Russell Wilson doesn't look good, Steelers fans pretty quickly are going to be calling for Justin Fields because of his scrambling ability.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The leftover language would be the million shy of what Jefferson makes Jefferson a better player. If you want to believe that, I'm not sure I buy that he's that much better than CeeDee Lamb.
Tony Pollard's gone. He's now with the Titans. I was with the Titans a couple weeks ago. He'll be their starting running back there. They're going a different direction in Dallas, but it's all about CeeDee Lamb right now, the first of the other deals that they have to get done.
Ferrall coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan that believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes! Are you ready?
Let's go!
That's what champions do.
Fourth set tiebreak now with Fritz and Zverev, and Fritz up 2-1, and up 1-0 in the tiebreak. The other thing is Tiafoe plays tonight. Tomorrow, how about this one? Tomorrow night, under the lights for the most part, 7 p.m., Swiatek, the number 1 seed against your Buffalo Bill, Pegula, the 6th seed. That's tomorrow. And tonight at Navarro's already won, so she won against Coco Gauff, and then she won today against Badosa, the Spaniard. Tonight, Sabalenka, the 2 seed, is the featured attraction under the lights against the Qinwen, the Chinese woman. So great tennis right now, and this tiebreak is huge, and that ball is out. 2-0 Fritz in the tiebreak. If he wins the tiebreak, 1st to 7, he's going to advance to the semis of the U.S. Open, and they're getting closer to U.S. to having someone in a U.S. Open final, at least the semis. Tiafoe can get there tonight. He's under the lights.
Yeah, against Dimitrov, as you said. That Sinner-Medvedev match tomorrow night should be a hell of a match as well.
And let me tell you something.
On the men's side. That's great.
Medvedev is the Russian. He's the bad guy. He won it. He beat Joker in 21. He won the U.S. Open. And he is the bad guy. Everyone hates him. But he's so funny because he says it's his favorite tournament in the world. He loves New York. And he even says, I love the fact that you hate me. I love it. So hate me all you want. There's nothing better than watching that skinny Russian guy F with everyone. He is so hard to beat in tennis. He'll drive you nuts. And, I mean, he's got it all going. Skinny. He's bony. He's losing all his hair. He's ugly. And the fans hate his guts. And he does this stuff throughout the match. He's like, I can't hear you. He does this stuff. He eggs them on. He's like, what's the matter? Oh, you didn't like that shot? What's the matter, girly man? I love him. He's such a D.
I think it always is good for the U.S. Open. You got to have a couple of Americans, both on the men and the women's side, make a run. Like, it just I think it adds – at least locally and nationally, I think it adds more interest when you have a little bit of that. Wow. How about that? All right. Compensation update for you here. Niners guarantee the next 2 years on the Trent Williams contract. equating to $48 million. He's going to make $27.6 this year. That's the most of any offensive lineman. So really 3 years, $82 is what Trent Williams is going to get. And the Steelers gave Cam Hayward an extension as well, Scotty. So he gets himself some money. I think 3 years for him,
3
right?
years and $45 million, and he's got about a year of football left in that fat-ass body of his. So they just gave him 3 years for no reason. He's got a year left.
There you go. And former Nebraska coach Scott Frost joins the Rams as a staff as an analyst. So he's going
to win multiple national championships and Big Ten titles at Nebraska, according to the governor.
That was a tough one for the governor. We love the governor, but
we
that
got to get the governor on Fridays on this show because there's been some, or Thursdays. You got Boughton on Friday. We got to get the governor on Thursdays. There's nothing better than the governor. Where do we sign? Where do we get him?
Did you see that they broke him? Did you see they broke him up? They broke up him and who was with him forever?
That's his boy.
Cedric. They broke him up. Yeah, they broke Spencer Tillman. They broke up the governor and Spencer Tillman. They're both separate teams now. How do you do that?
Not a good idea. That's what it is. It's once again, how many times have I implored upon you the wisdom of the suits screw everything up in this business? They ruin everything. They'll ruin a birthday party for a 5-year-old. They ruin everything. Here, let's break up the two guys that have been together forever that are best friends. Let's ruin that chemistry. We'll put this guy over here, put that guy over there. It is the decisions they make in this industry, in TV and radio. I have never been around so many bumbling idiots in my life. And you can quote me on that, too. I have never seen anything like great shows and great talent that they have butchered and screwed up. It's unbelievable to me. It truly is. It's unbelievable. How do you break that up? You must be stupid is what you are. You have to be stupid.
Yeah, it was weird seeing him Friday night doing the Wisconsin game, and he didn't have Spencer with him when he was doing the game. Very strange for the governor. There you go with the football. All right, I want to try to get in some baseball
and they wonder
here.
Why he watches their network. They wonder why they have no ratings.
I got a lot of games to get tonight, too.
As an executive, at least I wouldn't make stupid decisions like they make all the time. Honestly, I have too much fun on SportsGrid. Leave me out of this. I really do. But I could run it better drunk in like 16 glasses of rum.
The Dodgers and the Diamondbacks, Scotty. We'll start there for baseball. We have a lot of games tonight that we have to get to, and we'll sandwich all those around you talking to Adam. Dodgers and Diamondbacks played a 4-gamer in Arizona starting on Friday. And the Dodgers, Scotty, theoretically kind of put the NL West away. They take 3 out of 4 from Arizona this past weekend. Freddie Freeman had 2 homers yesterday, 11-6. They get the win. So, listen, Arizona's going to make the playoffs, Scotty. I think this is maybe just a bump in the road for them. But the Dodgers kind of letting everybody know that they are the team once again in the National League.
That's great. I'm still rooting for the Diamondbacks and Padres in the playoffs. All of this September, August, end of season glory and all of your fantastic, we're going to win the division. Good for you. All that matters is October. That is it. All of this is a waste of time. Give me October baseball. September baseball sucks. Let me tell you who watches September baseball. Baseball writers. Everyone else is watching football.
Clayton Kershaw goes on the IL with a bone spur in his toe, so it just never ends.
Time out. I got 5 left. Now, I have a bone spur right now on the side of my toe that is the size of a golf ball. And I got to tell you, when I play basketball with this bone spur on my foot, it burns like literally like one of those Formula One, cars doing 190 miles an hour at a Formula One race. My toe burns. It burns so bad. It's literally it's like a barbecue. That's how much it burns. Inside a shoe, some of the most horrific burning pain ever. A bone spur on your toe. I feel for Clayton Kershaw. I have the same problem right now. I told the chick at the pedicure place, shave it off, honey. I'll give you $20. Just cut it out of me. Cut it out of me.
All right, we'll come back. I am going to quickly rip through a bunch of stuff from this past weekend, and then we have to start tonight's games. We've got a lot of games that we have to get into.
Mike Tomlin could have very easily put this to rest and say that, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to look at, hey, Russell Wilson led that clean drive. I think that separates him enough to give him the starting job. But I think you're right that the leash is going to be pretty short. And if Russell Wilson doesn't look good, Steelers fans pretty quickly are going to be calling for Justin Fields because of his scrambling ability.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The leftover language would be the million shy of what Jefferson makes Jefferson a better player. If you want to believe that, I'm not sure I buy that he's that much better than CeeDee Lamb.
Tony Pollard's gone. He's now with the Titans. I was with the Titans a couple weeks ago. He'll be their starting running back there. They're going a different direction in Dallas, but it's all about CeeDee Lamb right now, the first of the other deals that they have to get done.
Ferrall coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan that believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
All right, Carver High. I'm under a tremendous strain here now that you've flipped to baseball. It's like having jock itch. Honestly, like I was the college football and pro football talk had me so happy, so lit, so jacked. But Taylor Fritz wins at the U.S. Open, and then you want to talk baseball with me, and it's like, it's like hanging out with your ex-wife. What's next, a tea party?
We just did, for the last 2 months, we've done baseball for half the show. And now starting this week, baseball kind of just gets squeezed into just a couple of quick segments.
That matters. You're taters.
Don't worry. Dingers are coming. We got back on the horse yesterday with Gunnar Henderson, who, by the way, did homer in the Oriole win over the White Sox. Hopefully he's going to homer again tonight. Yankees beat the Rangers 8-4. That is the closest division in baseball right now, Scotty. Yankees and O's for the AL East. Everything else, you're starting to get a lot of separation. Even Houston's up 6 games. The Braves, the Phillies, the Brewers, the Dodgers have all extended pretty far out. So the Yankees and Orioles are going to be the division race in September to watch. Cleveland beat the Royals 4-2. They've got, I believe it's a 4.5 game lead now in the Central. Brewers beat the Cardinals 9-3. Willie Adames has homered in 5 straight games, Scotty. Yes, I was on him yesterday, just so you know. Willie Adames yesterday with his 5th straight homer. Paul Goldschmidt has no plans to retire. He's entering the final year of a 5-year, $130 million deal next year. He's finished, just so everybody knows. Paul Goldschmidt's done. They'll probably trade him, Scotty, I would guess.
Yeah, he said he's going to keep playing. He just wants that money, is what that means in Portuguese.
Correct. The Padres did beat the Tigers, and tomorrow night they're going to get Yu Darvish back. He has been out since late May. He had a couple of injuries, and for personal reasons, he has not been with the team, so Darvish back on the mound.
Honestly,
and they got Tatis back last night.
They
as
did.
Well.
And,
Tatis
I got to tell you, do you see how big he is now? What is happening? Yeah. He's turning into Barry Bonds. Here's the deal. Yu Darvish, can someone explain to me how this guy's been out the entire season with personal problems? What kind of personal problems do you have? You missed the entire goddamn season. I mean, honestly. Where was he?
Unknown. They are personal reasons. I think
Kaplan
he had to go back home.
He knows everything. Where's that cat? Mafia, get all the Kaplan and get my pills.
Twins beat the Rays, A's beat the Mariners, Mets beat the Red Sox 4-1, and the Pirates did beat the Cubs last night. Guess who else I had last night, Scotty? It was a good Monday, Labor Day. Brian Reynolds last night. We had the tater tot.
Oh, so we had that
cooking.
And I had the over. How about the over 7.5? It landed on 8. Woo!
All right, let's try to get through as many for tonight as we can before, of course. Then you'll talk to Adam, then we'll finish them and give you the taters afterwards as well. The White Sox are back in Baltimore. Man, they are pathetic. 31-108 for the Chicago White Sox, who will have Nick Nastrini, who going against the O's tonight, who's going to send Cade Povich out there. Minus 325, plus 260 for the Orioles and an 8.5.
Can I just say, I was watching old Sopranos cuts last night again. Drea De Matteo, very strong effort. I saw her in a scene with Imperioli with nothing but underwear on. Are we on the air right now? Don't talk.
Yes,
okay.
we are.
I just want to say, give me Maury Povich and the Orioles tonight at Camden. All over about it.
Nationals are in Miami against the Marlins. Patrick Corbin and Max Meyer tonight. Minus $1.15 for the Fish and an 8.5.
Give me Oscar Mayer in South FLA with all that gorgeous hunk.
Wow. Up the coast to Tampa, where the Twins are in town against the Rays. It will be David Festa against Jeffrey Springs. The Rays are minus $1.15. Rays favored over the Twins tonight with a 7.5.
Against your boy Festa, cheese. Give me Poland spring water at home at the Trop.
The Phillies north of the border to Toronto. The Basset Hound tonight against Tyler Phillips. Minus 120 for the Jays are favored tonight. Even money for the Phillies and an 8.5.
Phillips 66 gasoline. Give me the Phils on the road.
Mets only a half game back of the last wild card spot in the National League. They'll have David Peterson against Cutter Crawford tonight at Citi Field. Mets right now, Scotty, minus $1.45 and a 7.5.
The Mets are on a tear. They're going to win every game in September, including tonight.
After you talk to Adam, I will give you the rest of the card, including the Yankees are in Texas. We have the Dodgers and the Angels getting together in Anaheim, and I do have taters for tonight, of course. We will not forget taters.
And you heard me before. I did say, quote, we don't need anyone. We've got Kaplan handling pro football on this network. Screw everyone else.
Mike Tomlin could have very easily put this to rest and say that, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to look at, hey, Russell Wilson led that clean drive. I think that separates him enough to give him the starting job. But I think you're right that the leash is going to be pretty short. And if Russell Wilson doesn't look good, Steelers fans pretty quickly are going to be calling for Justin Fields because of his scrambling ability.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The leftover language would be the million shy of what Jefferson makes Jefferson a better player. If you want to believe that, I'm not sure I buy that he's that much better than CeeDee Lamb.
Tony Pollard's gone. He's now with the Titans. I was with the Titans a couple weeks ago. He'll be their starting running back there. They're going a different direction in Dallas, but it's all about CeeDee Lamb right now, the first of the other deals that they have to get done.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan that believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
Adam Kaplan is our NFL insider on SportsGrid. You can catch him across the board on all kinds of shows. And then again, he does the most damage on Coast to Coast, just like he oughta. And you can follow him on X at Kaplan NFL. Almost 30 years covering the NFL. Who needs anyone else on this network, as I said earlier today, when we have Adam Kaplan handling our pro football for us? I've heard all of the experts, and they all bore me. Then there's Kaplan. And not only that, on Fridays, he does bust a cap in yo ass spread picks for NFL games, which is unequaled by his peers on any network anywhere. The best show on TVC to see. Here we go. Today, Adam busting out his moves for divisional picks. He's going to give us all of his picks to win divisions. And we start in the NFC East, Adam, where, of course, you're homerized milquetoast, I'm sure, and taking your Eagles.
It's funny. The Eagles were about 2 months ago minus 110 or minus 120. Now they're minus 150 to win the NFC East. And look, it's very clear. They're the best team in this division. I'm not saying they're the best team or even close to it in the NFC, but they're the best team in the NFC.
No, they are.
And they're going to try to win. And not only try to win, but just dominate this division where we have not had a repeat winner since 2004. You got two new coordinators, right? That's the big thing. More professional. Guys, I'm told, are buying in. The Eagles are the clear favorite at minus 150. The Cowboys, with all their turmoil with contracts, injuries in the secondary, they're plus 170.
Yeah, but what does a contract negotiation have to do with winning? The bottom line is that they win 12 games 3 years in a row, and they are loaded, and Lamb is unstoppable, and Prescott's better than Jalen Hurts.
Lamb, he holds out. He's back. Yes, he got his contract done. Jerry Jones takes his shots about what happened last year in the playoffs at home against Green Bay where they got blown out. Yeah, they're a good regular season team, but I worry about the Bland injury, the Deron Bland injury. They've got injuries in their secondary. Remember, Diggs coming back from the ACL injury. They've got problems in their secondary. The Eagles are the clear winner here at minus 150.
Why, in God's name, do you have faith in a team that melted like an ice cream cone last year? And that was the worst. It was an abortion, is what it was.
Lost 6 out of 7, got embarrassed at Tampa Bay. But what they did is they got two new coordinators. They got guys who've been there and done it with Vic Fangio on defense and Kellen Moore on offense. And that's what they had to do, get guys who've been there and done it and been successful.
Let's go to the NFC North, where you and I are in concert here.
I'm not going with the chalk. The Lions are plus 130. They're the clear favorite. Everybody's darling. I get it. They've been phenomenal the last 2 seasons. But I like the Packers at plus 210. Why do I like them? Change in defensive coordinator. They're changing schemes under Jeff Hafley, the former Boston College head coach. They're going to a 43 front. I like it. I like their front. I think this actually helps them. They were very soft on the Joe Barry, not aggressive enough. I was told too finesse. This is going to be exactly what they need. You know how great their offense is. We've been singing the praises of Jordan Love now since mid last season. They're going to shock the world at plus 210 and win that division.
I couldn't agree with you more. Let's go to the South, where today Carver High broke the news to me that Joey Prawns, one go for the two, Joe Lisi, is calling for the Carolina Panthers to beat the Saints on Sunday in the game of the week in the NFL. And I said, I would rather be in a Turkish prison than watch the Panthers and Saints game. Yeah. And I want to know, who do you like in the South?
All right, again, I'm not going with a chalk. Everybody's darling now. It's the Bears and the Falcons. The Falcons at minus 140. They're the clear favorite. I'm going with the repeat division winner here to be the Bucs at plus 300. They smoked the Eagles in the playoffs. I get it. They have a new coordinator. That head coach now is in Carolina. That coordinator's who was with the Bucs last year. Dave Canales is now the head coach of the Panthers. Liam Cohen comes in from Kentucky. You might remember him and Baker Mayfield worked together with the Rams for a brief period. They revamped their secondary. This is a well-coached team. This is another one. They're just a value, Scott, at plus 300. The Falcons are not a value at minus 140.
I agree with you again with the Buccaneers. And I said earlier on the show that they were an interception away from upsetting the Lions in the playoffs. Baker threw a bad pass and they lost. They could have won that game. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Let's go to the West, where you have who winning?
Yeah, I like the Niners at minus 200. Trent Williams got his deal done today, right? He reported he got his restructure done. They took care of him. Ayuk's got his deal done. Everybody's there. They're actually going to be pretty healthy for week one against the Jets. They're minus 200. That one is clear to me. I don't see the Rams, who overachieve every year without Aaron Donald, by the way, plus 325. They're in second. But the Niners are the easy call at minus 200.
So he's the number 2 coach, allegedly, McVay, in the NFL behind Andy Reid. And you say that they I guess overstay their welcome winning games or something. All I know is I like the Rams at that fat price. I'll be counting money with my tongue when they take the division.
Well, I'll say they're not, but here's what they will do, and we'll talk more about this on Thursday. You might like their over total and their win total. Nobody believes in the Rams this season.
That's too bad. You know what I believe in? The Niners having all kinds of injuries. That's what I believe in. The AFC now, like all these grandiose people think it's just such a walk in the park for the Niners and Chiefs right to the Super Bowl. Yeah, until that injury bug comes around the corner and bites you in the ass. That's what I'm hoping for. Anything but those two. Anything but those two. Let's go to the AFC East.
The Jets, I know it. Carver doesn't like it. A lot of people don't agree with me. Jets have one of the best rosters in the National Football League. Their quarterback is back. If Rodgers plays just 15 games, okay? If he plays at least 15 games, they're winning that division. They are plus 160. I love them. And by the way, it's tight. The Bills are plus 180, but I like the Jets to win at plus 160.
I'll tell you what. I'll take Rodgers to be able. I'll take the over that he can play over 15 minutes this year, as opposed to 15 games. Give me the Dolphins at plus 225. AFC North.
Ravens, man, this one's also tight between them and the Bengals. The Ravens are plus 125. Bengals are plus 165. I love the addition of Derrick Henry. Now, am I going to pick them to get the Super Bowl? No. But I like the Ravens at plus 125. I like everything they've done. The only issue is a new defensive coordinator, and Zach Orr, at 31 years old, a former linebacker for them. That does worry me a little bit. But they're the clear favorite at plus 125.
I won't argue with you, but when the Steelers win the division and at 7-1, I'm counting that money. I'll take you out for a steak. The AFC South.
The Texans at minus 105. Man, what a year it's been. And this time last year, people were saying, will they get over 5.5 wins? Well, they've got the best roster in that division. And by the way, a tight division, very competitive. Colts are plus 325. The Jaguars, who choked, lost 5 out of 6. They should have won it. They're plus 300, but the Texans, the obvious favorite, and that's my team at minus 105.
I'm not going to argue with the Texans. They're loaded. I think they'll win on the road in week 1 as well. Let's go to the West. Gee, who do you have here?
Chiefs at minus 300. How are they not minus 500? They're so obvious, but so many people think the Chargers are going to go over that 8.5 win total. Chargers are plus 375. Now, we'll talk more about them on Thursday. They're the hype team to go over their total at 8.5. I don't see it year one. All sorts of injury issues and revamped defense. But the Chiefs are the most obvious favorite of all divisions at minus 300.
Yeah, I think they'll win the division, and then I look forward to them stubbing their toe in the playoffs and not winning the Super Bowl. No team has won 3 Super Bowls in a row, and they won't either. Thank God that I will not be talking about them in New Orleans the week of the Super Bowl, so I can talk about something else other than Patrick Mahomes throwing behind his back would be the best thing that ever happened to me. Honest to God. Later in the week, Adam will unveil his spread picks, otherwise known, as I said earlier, as bust a cap in yo ass. And by the way, Adam has never approved of that type of language on this program. But he knows he's good at picking games, so he just runs with it. But he doesn't like the way I call it bust a cap in yo ass.
Mike Tomlin could have very easily put this to rest and say that, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to look at, hey, Russell Wilson led that clean drive. I think that separates him enough to give him the starting job. But I think you're right that the leash is going to be pretty short. And if Russell Wilson doesn't look good, Steelers fans pretty quickly are going to be calling for Justin Fields because of his scrambling ability.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The leftover language would be the million shy of what Jefferson makes Jefferson a better player. If you want to believe that, I'm not sure I buy that he's that much better than CeeDee Lamb.
Tony Pollard's gone. He's now with the Titans. I was with the Titans a couple weeks ago. He'll be their starting running back there. They're going a different direction in Dallas, but it's all about CeeDee Lamb right now, the first of the other deals that they have to get done.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan that believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
Carver High coming in with a deplorable rating for Ferrall's behavior on today's show, and we're not even done yet.
Not even done yet. I guess you still got a few minutes to turn it around, though. Anything's possible, I suppose. The Rockies are in Atlanta against the Braves. You have a lot of baseball to do. Chris Sale tonight. Nice 15-3 with a 2.5 ERA against Kyle Freeland, one of our favorite gas cans, going for the Rockies. The Braves are minus 360 tonight. That is some heavy lumber. Rockies plus 285 and a 7.5.
Screw that. Run line it. The Braves are going to score 9 runs off of Freeland. He's a bum.
I hope so. That would be very good. A bunch of homers, too, would be nice. The Guardians are still in Kansas City against the Royals. Tanner Bibby against Brady Singer tonight, where we have the Guardians minus $130, Royals plus 110, and a 7.5 total.
Give me the lounge singer and the Royals at the K.
It is Paul Skeens night for the Buccos, Scotty, in Wrigleyville against the Cubbies. Skeens will be facing Kyle Hendricks. So the Pirates are minus $125, plus 105 for the Cubs, who have been playing better. 7.5 the total.
The Cubs have been playing great, and the Pirates beat them last night, and now Mr. K is in. Paul Skeens. It's must-see TV. Give me the Buccos.
The Cardinals in Milwaukee against the Brewers. Steven Matz and Aaron Savale tonight. Minus $155 for Milwaukee, plus 130 for the Redbirds, and an 8.5.
Doormats will get lit up by the Brew Crew tonight in Milwaukee.
They certainly will. The Yankees are still in Arlington against the Rangers. Carlos Rodon tonight against Andrew Heaney. Yankees minus $160, plus 135 for Texas, and an 8.5.
I think Rodon's been special in this last 2 months for the Yankees. Give me the Bombers on the road again.
Dodgers into actually just going down the freeway, Scotty, to Anaheim to see the Angels tonight with Walker Buehler against Reed Detmers. Minus 185 for the Dodgers, 9.5. This is also Ohtani's first trip back to Anaheim, Scotty. And I did just see a report that the Angels plan on doing absolutely nothing for him. Not even the video montage, the welcome back, none of that for Ohtani. He's only one of their best players and won some MVP awards there. But Why? Whatever.
Well, I think it's classless. So the only thing you can do is bend them over and spank them in the ass and call them Charlie. Dodgers roll them, run line and otherwise. The Angels are as bad as the White Sox. They're just 27 losses shy of them.
I would absolutely. I don't have Ohtani on the tater list, Scotty, but I got a feeling he'll find some long balls tonight. You might want to play him for a 2 tonight. Louis Castillo for the Mariners at the dump. JT Ginn is going for the A's. -160 for Seattle, an 8.5 for the total.
Give me Bombay Sapphire Gin at home at the ashtray. The A's.
Wow. Mariners have been brutal, Scotty, since they fired. I mean, even they were brutal before they fired Service, and they haven't been much better since after that. And the Diamondbacks look to get off the mat after losing 3 out of 4 to the Dodgers. They're in San Francisco against the Giants. It'll be Ryan Nelson against Kyle Harrison tonight. -120 for the Snakes, 7.5 the total.
I mean, the Giants have to win this game. The problem is they won't. The Diamondbacks are flat out better. Yes. I don't care if George Harrison's playing.
That is the problem, is that they won't right there.
Yeah.
There it is, your night in baseball, but no night in baseball would be complete here on C2C without the taters for tonight. We have to get tater time in. Why don't we start with Jose Ramirez, Scotty, against the Royals and Brady Singer. How are these for numbers? 12 for 25 with 3 home runs off of Singer in his career. Look at the price you're giving us tonight, +520 for Jose Ramirez. I'm going back to Brian Reynolds tonight, Scotty.
Whoa.
In Wrigleyville against Kyle Hendricks. He's 9 for 38 with 2 homers off him in his career. Hendricks has allowed 20 taters in 102 innings pitched this year. He stinks. And I'm getting +560 with Brian Reynolds tonight. Next, a little burger time in Miami. We got Patrick Corbin going for the Nationals tonight. Berger always eats up on the lefties. Corbin has been a little bit better the last few times out. That changes tonight. +370 for Jake Berger. Jorge Soler, 5 for 13 with a homer off of Kyle Freeland. Although if you want to go with anybody, Scotty, Ozuna, Olsen, Soler, wherever you want to go for Atlanta against Freeland, I would have no problem. Soler's +360. Will Smith, 3 for 9 with a homer off Reed Detmers, and he's +450. We just told you we're going to put Ohtani on there as well to give the business to Artie Moreno and the Angels tonight in Anaheim. And I will finish it off with Adolis Garcia, 2 for 3 with a no homer, just 2 for 3 off for Carlos Rodon, but a nice +450 price. I know Rodon's been a little better, Scotty, but he does still give up long balls, so we are going to go after him with a big righty.
I mean, fair enough. Listen, stack up all those other Dodgers as well. Freeman, Betts, Smith. I mean, the whole team's going to hit them. The Angels want to act this way, like, that Ohtani's garbage, and they're not going to give him any respect. It's low class. Bring out the big sticks and pound their ass.
It is pretty pathetic, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. I guess they're mad he went to the Dodgers. They're mad they didn't come back.
Said they never made him an offer.
Their team has sucked forever. Like, I mean, what do you want him to do? They're not going to give Mike Trout one when they eventually trade him? They're never going to give Trout
Do you think he cares? He's playing for the Dodgers now. He could care less. The Angels to him are like a bad memory. It's like a nightmare.
And he's screaming towards the first, 50-50 season in Major League history, right? Getting close to putting his name on that.
Judge is better.
That is for sure. Yeah. Judge hasn't hit one in a couple days. Judge hasn't hit one in a few days. Maybe Andrew Heaney tonight can wake up Aaron Judge and actually give him something. Rack him up indeed. All right, we'll come back. I got a lot of leftovers for you, including a new highest paid player in the NHL. We have the end of the PGA season. We've got some basketball contracts. We've got a whole bunch of stuff here for leftovers to get through.
Sweet.
Mike Tomlin could have very easily put this to rest and say that, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to look at, hey, Russell Wilson led that clean drive. I think that separates him enough to give him the starting job. But I think you're right that the leash is going to be pretty short. And if Russell Wilson doesn't look good, Steelers fans pretty quickly are going to be calling for Justin Fields because of his scrambling ability.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The leftover language would be the million shy of what Jefferson makes Jefferson a better player. If you want to believe that, I'm not sure I buy that he's that much better than CeeDee Lamb.
Tony Pollard's gone. He's now with the Titans. I was with the Titans a couple weeks ago. He'll be their starting running back there. They're going a different direction in Dallas, but it's all about CeeDee Lamb right now, the first of the other deals that they have to get done.
Ferrall coast to coast, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan to believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
Some fans think the last segment of the show is the best segment of the show, the leftovers and Ferrall Offender segment, which, after 3 hours, you'd think we'd get a little more love, but they only care about the last 5 minutes.
That's usually the case. We have a new highest paid player in the NHL.
Who's that?
Oilers, it's not Connor McDavid. Leon Draisaitl, 8-year extension. He is the first player to reach the $14 million per year AAV mark. That makes him the highest paid player. I'm sure that, although they just gave Connor a bunch of money a couple of years ago, Scotty, but Draisaitl now is going to be
do those
that.
rings fit? Did they get their rings yet?
All the rings for those guys, and they both now take up, 40% of their cap. So we'll see how it goes for them going forward. Scotty Scheffler finishes off just a dominant year, winning the FedEx Cup playoffs, the Tour Championship at East Lake, a cool $15 million.
25 million. He won 25 million.
That's right.
And he won $62 million this year playing golf.
Correct. That is quite the year for Scotty Scheffler. Rory says he's going to play less golf in 2025 because he feels like he hit a wall after the U.S. Open. He hit a wall, all right. He sure did hit a wall after the U.S. Open. It was in his head. That's where the wall was hit. The Clippers and Zubac, 3 years, $58 million extension. Pacers and TJ McConnell, 4 years, $45 million extension. Evan Fournier, Scotty, has banished himself to the Euro League. Olympiacos is where he's going to go play. Good for him. Evan Fournier in Greece. Up and away he goes. Caleb Plant calls the upcoming fight with Trevor McCumbee personal after a quitter comment. I believe that's on the undercard of the fight that you're going to. So you're going to see
there.
fast.
Listen, that fight and the Danny Garcia Lara fight, the undercard's fantastic. There's violence at all levels.
All levels of violence. Erling Haaland, second straight hat trick for Manchester City. He sets the Premier League record.
Superman.
Most goals through the first 3 games of the season. That dude is a freak.
He's Superman
for Man City. Absolutely ridiculous. And Joey Chestnut,
your boy,
bested Kobayashi in the Netflix hot dog event, which I know that you watched. I'm sure that you were very involved. I think he actually hit the 80 mark in that fixed hot dog event that they had on Netflix for Labor Day. Not the same.
The guy that won the Nathans is like a phony because he wasn't there. So, like, when you win, when they won't let him be there because he has a new sponsor, you're not the champ of anything. All you are is fat and ugly. Bottom line is, no one can eat more hot dogs than this guy or anything else for that matter. Ferrall finish time.
Nobody.
The South Carolina women's basketball team member Ashlyn Watkins allegedly arrested and charged with assault and kidnapping. What is happening here? 6 people injured in a Labor Day mass shooting at a Nashville bar. Can we just go out and have a freshie without being shot at? West Nile virus kills 2 in New Jersey as the death toll across the U.S. rises to 5. You do not want to get bit by a mosquito right now, apparently. And then, like, when I'm out watering and stuff, plants, I'm, like, always itching. Like, I think I'm getting bit. It's just awful. Just the word mosquito in West Nile, I start scratching. Same thing with jock itch. 2 teens killed after crashing their moped into a New York City wall. Tear down the wall. Homeless couple filmed having relations in a parking lot under the FDR Drive in New York City, taking the city to a new low. According to Carver High, junkies and migrant squatters turned a New York City block into a crime-ridden nightmare, starting a blaze with stolen e-bike batteries that torched 2 nearby homes. Isn't that lovely? California neighbor hated this elderly couple so much that they vanished from a nudist ranch as the human remains have been found underneath where? His home. My man pulled a Wayne Gacy, had enough of the nudist couple, so he killed him and buried him under his house. He didn't think it was going to reek until the dogs started hanging out under the deck. Man arrested for killing a Texas college student execution style. Proud sugar daddy websites. Carver High and I have been known to scour the sugar daddy market as this guy is creeping me out. GTD is next. Go to FerrallOnEvents.com for everything else as long as you're an American. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock Eastern for yours and everyone else's favorite show, Coast to Coast.
You got Porzingis, you got Holiday, you got Derek White, you got literally, I would say what, 5 guys can get you 20 points in a game?
I know people will say it's, only one guy. I don't believe that, Coach, that, one guy, those days are over, in my opinion. Like, a Bill Russell, a Wilt Chamberlain.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
You're going a little deep bomb hunting here. We don't care that we have the one heavy favorite with Rory, a couple other guys like Fleetwood and Tagala, etc. You're going to go a little deeper down the board.
This course, I think, is going to play a little bit more to the wedges. They have, what they did is they've renovated it to basically block off some of the bombing alleys for these guys. They've narrowed the fairways.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole's getting ready to come back, too. I guess this... Look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, look, don't come back. I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
8 playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, well, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me, because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with an injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.